What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Grind Force Gaming. Nova here again with another Street Fighter Duel video, and today we are covering the brand new event that is the Demonic Temple, and that's for Oni. I already did the trial in a different video, so if you didn't see that yet and you're having a hard time with that, you need some help with team compositions, definitely hit the card up here at the top, and I'll show you guys how to beat that in that video. But for the Demonic Temple, I'm just going to say I love these events for quite a few reasons. I know they don't really change that much, and we don't have anything like new as opposed to other events that are like this, but I absolutely love these events. I love the way that they do them. I think they're extremely fun. The waterfall training is just a really great way to get resources, and now that they've made some really nice quality of life changes to the game, we are able to get copies of Oni from 2 of these, which is just extremely awesome. I'm really glad that they made this change and that they carried it forward from the previous Summer Elena event, because we weren't sure if they were going to do that again, but it looks like this might potentially end up being the norm. So I already beat the spider web thing, but I did actually screen record those. So what we're going to do here is just hop into that really quickly, because there are 2 puzzles that I can help you guys solve. And then I'll also show you the team composition that I used for the boss fight. So we'll hop back into that right now. Okay, guys, so here's my previous screen recording of this event. The puzzles were not that difficult, but I wanted to do them for you guys just in the event that you are having a hard time with it. They're pretty straightforward. Sometimes they are much more difficult than other times, which is why I always screen record them in the beginning, because you never know like how challenging it might be. And then if it is something that's difficult, then yeah, I definitely like to help you guys beat them so that you can just move through this more quickly. But these are probably the more simplistic ones that the game provides. Just doing the color changes, you can really just kind of move back and forth, get the colors to be whichever you want. It can be either all yellow or all purple. It doesn't matter. But just follow that path and then you'll beat it just like I did. Okay, and then now I moved forward here a little bit. You can see I sped that up. I skipped some things, and now we're just going to be doing this section, which is the Wonderland Training 1-2. This is the second puzzle, and this one was just a little bit more difficult. I think it's definitely worth noting here that when you move the boxes over, they don't change the color. Colors only change if you yourself are on that specific tile. So you're able to just kind of move the boxes out of the way, and then you can basically just like move forward, move back, move forward, move back, and then you can line up the colors accordingly. So I wanted to show you guys as well how I was doing the boss fight for this one, because as you progress through the event and you get more manuals, you upgrade your Bloodlust even more, you get even stronger, and then it's easier to beat these. So I just want to remind you guys here that if you do start these little the little side challenge here, and you get to the boss and you can't get 3 stars, or you can't get 2 stars even, it's totally fine. These are playable throughout the entire event, so don't stress over it. Don't waste a lot of time doing it. I know you want the rewards and whatever, but it's not going to be anything that's game changing for you. So don't waste a lot of time on this. Spend your time doing the boss fights instead, because that's where, you have the opportunity to really like test out your teams and figure out what compositions work better and try to get higher scores that you can get actually better rewards that are potentially a bit more game changing for you, because you can get like divination tickets and that kind of thing. So for this, just play it, get whatever score you get, work on your Bloodlust, you can return to it. So you can see here I got only 2 stars on it, but it's because I wasn't using a good team for it. So I just immediately made the swap here to do the Flame Chun-Li Dalsim team, which is 100% going to get me the high score. And that way I can just move on. But I didn't even do any of the Bloodlust upgrades at this point. I left all the manuals just unused. So this is without even getting the Bloodlust upgrades. But just have some patience with these. Upgrade with time, go back, beat it, and it won't be a problem. You'll be able to use really whatever team you want, because you'll have such high percentage changes to your fighters' stats and everything if you're using the manuals and you're building up your Bloodlust path. So it's pretty fun. I think that these events are really awesome. I do wish that they would integrate a little bit more, or just give us like some kind of new aspect or something. But aside from that, like, I absolutely love these new fighter drop events because of the boss fights. It is the best way to try out using different team compositions and test out different assist skills with different fighters. And I think for me, like, that's the most fun thing about these. And I sit in the boss fights and I just play them over and over and over again, trying out different teams, moving fighters around, changing DPS. fighters and everything. But, you know, I still think that this is really cool that they're giving out free copies of them. You know, just an A+ copy, like it doesn't hurt the devs to give you that, but for me, it just helps me feel better about, you know, the time that I spend playing this game. And then also just, you know, it's just kind of a nice thing to do. Like, it doesn't hurt them to give you an A+. It's not like it does anything good for you, but it gives you a good head start if you do want to draw for them. So I think that that's pretty awesome. So anyway, I go through my Bloodlust setup right here, but I'm just going to skip this and fast forward to the next part of the video, and then you'll see the whole thing in a moment. So let's do that. Okay, so once you have that all completed and everything, and now today is day 2, so you do have the ability to do 3 more fights to get more of the manuals for the Bloodlust. This is the path that I specifically chose. Now, this is, you know, what works best for me. Doesn't mean that this is the absolute correct path. You need to change to this or whatever, but you can certainly try it out. On the bottom left-hand side of the screen here, you'll see that there's a reset button. You can reset your manuals as many times as you want. Choose different paths, try different things out, and see what works best for you and see what helps you with your scores. But for me, this is the path that helps me the most. So if we go into the Duel of Fate here, Gen is the first fighter that we are going against right now. And I have been doing pretty well. I'm pretty happy with how my scores have been turning out. I'm currently in 6th in our battle zone, which is amazing. I'm really happy about that because there's some serious whales in my battle zone, and I'm sitting up there like pretty high alongside some of them, and the power difference between me and some of them is quite large, like 382 million total power for this guy who's ahead of me. This guy who's just behind me, 791 million power. Bacon Wizard, what's he got? 214 million power. So like these guys have really high overall power. My overall power is 84 million. You can see it top left of the screen. So I'm punching up pretty high because of the team compositions that I'm using. So let's just show you what I'm doing. And now scores are all over the place because you never know how a team's going to do. And a lot of my power is coming from team 1, as you can see. Like that's a crazy amount of damage coming out of that team. But it's very conditional. It's tough for me to actually pull off a score like that because either Flame Chun-Li gets nuked before I get to 50 stacks, or I end up losing Dulcim. So he's my main damage dealer. So if either one of them die like mid-game or something in that match, like it's over. The run's over. So it's just it's an unknown thing. I don't really know what's going to happen when I run these, but every now and again I get a really good one, like the score that I have right now. So here is team number 1, and now I know I'm using some legendary fighters in my team lineups that you have to pay for, but if you don't have them, there are other options. You can use different fighters. So I'll show you my teams, and then I'll tell you how you can kind of change things if you don't have some of these fighters available to you. So here's team 1. Here is team 2. And here is team 3. So let's just go, well, we can just start right here. So if you don't have Fashion Ken here, he still doesn't have a team. I wish I could use him like in a main lineup, but the scores just don't like, you know, do it for me. So I'm using him as an assist because his assist skill is actually really good. If you don't have him, you could put like Guile in the assist because he'll stack Saber, which will help with armor, or not armor break, but it'll help with defense ignoring. It is a low percentage chance for that to stack, but it's still, you know, something that you could use in the assist position. That's quite nice. You could use Chun-Li in the assist position as well here, or you could use Chun-Li instead of Fashion Blanca, and then you could do like some armor break play with her C3 and then utilizing Cammy as well. And then if you're not using Fashion Blanca here, you could totally bring him to the first team if you don't have Flame Chun-Li. So you could have Fashion Blanca in here. For this one, I've got Nero in as the tank, so that's really the only outlier in this team that might, you know, be a fighter that you guys don't have. But if you don't, I mean, just put E Honda in here, or, you know, you could put B Zangief in here or something like that. Just get something up front to soak up some of the initial damage at the beginning of the round. But these are the teams that I'm using currently. They're working quite well. And then if we want to just take a look here, so you'll see what I mean. Like this team is pretty conditional. But when the stacks do work, when this actually does come together right, I mean, the score is just insane, as you guys saw. And it's pretty awesome to watch the successful runs of these happen, just because, I mean, it feels good to get a really good score like this and then beat some of the whales in our battle zone, and then even in my server, because I'm ranked number 2 in my specific server, and then 6th in our battle zone. So it's pretty good, but my other teams are lacking. Like if you saw the scores before, like this team 1 is like, this is where my numbers are coming from. Team 2 was like 207 million, I think, or something like that. And then team 1 was like, or team 3 was like 100 million. So there's a lot of room for improvement on my other 2 teams. I just don't have like the fighters that would do it for me. I don't have any special summon fighters that are like good enough to use. I have an S grade Akuma, and I have the A+ Summer Elena from the free copies. I've been saving my tickets for a really long time, and as a result, I don't have any, I just don't have any special summon fighters that I can use like a lot of these people do. So unfortunately, I don't really know what I can do. Yeah, see, 207 million, 102 million. There's a lot of room for improvement on those bottom 2 teams. If I had better damage output on that, I could have a really nice high score if I got a good run on my first team. But like I was saying, if I look at, like here's number 1 in my battle zone. I mean, he's not even using Oni, but he's using Virgil, he's using Akuma, and he's using Evil Ryu, and he's using Summer Elena. Boom's here. I mean, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 6 almost fully maxed special summon fighters. I mean, Oni is only 3-star. He doesn't have all of them at white star, but still. But I mean, my team hit harder than, I have a higher score overall for one team than he does. But it's hard to compete with players that have all of these special summon fighters maxed, because I've been saving my tickets since the Akuma event, because I used some to get him, but you can see here at the top I've got 604 tickets saved up. I've been saving them since the Akuma event. I have not done a single summon since then. It takes a long time to stock up these tickets when you're free to play. I mean, I bought some of the legendary fighters, but that's it. Like I don't do anything else. So it takes a long time. It takes a really long time to save those up. So I've been thinking that I'm going to go for Akuma. I mean, I think that he's pretty good. I think that he definitely fits like the role that I'm looking for a new fighter if I am going to like invest anything into one, like tickets wise, and try for summons, because I think he'll do really well for PvP, but I think he does extremely well for boss fights, because even now, like looking into the battle report, like, oh, sorry, not the battle report, but leaderboards. Let's go back to Booms here, because he used him. 503 million damage. I mean, that's really good, and he's not even fully max. He only has 3 out of the 6 vehicles on him. Well, maybe he has 4 or 5, but he doesn't have 6 out of 6. He's got 3 out of 6 vehicles for the skill benefit. He's only got 3 stars on him, and he's already dealing 503 million damage. I mean, he's got a good team behind him here with Goken and Gormagala Ken, and a maxed out athlete Chun-Li, but I could put a similar team together, I think, and it would do just fine as well. And I don't see why I wouldn't be able to get him to SSS, because we have 2 free copies of him here. And then I don't want to use my Starlight on him. It's not something that you should do, but I suppose I could if I needed to. But if I could get him to SSS, and then I could just pull divination for him to get him to +2, then I think that would be ideal. I don't have a lot of divination tickets, though. I used a lot of them on Witch Jury during the event, but that was the economical play. That was the smart thing to do. So that's why I don't have much of those. But anyway, guys, I mean, aside from that, I mean, that's the event. Like I said, it's pretty typical for the supply here for just like your event store. If you guys are curious about what you should pick up using the prayer beads, I would say, well, it really depends on what you need. You need to think about what you need right now. And I think for a lot of people, this is either going to look like these soul cores, T2 upgrades, or boost stones, of course, because getting to FS30 for a lot of fighters is what makes or breaks them. So I think that's probably what you're going to really be looking forward to using. If you don't have a maxed Sea Viper and you're still waiting on getting like summons for her, you might want to think about just maxing her, because she's one of the best DPS free-to-play fighters in the game, probably even the best free-to-play DPS fighter. So that would be my recommendations. Just think about what you need, and then that's what you need to go for. I wouldn't really overthink the shops too much. We have a lot of opportunities to buy different things. So I think I'm going to do some more videos just on like boss fights and things like that. Datscat did a live video just the other night showing his team compositions and making changes and stuff like that. So if you're interested in seeing stuff like that, just keep an eye on our YouTube channel as always, and you might catch one of us going live. If you're not in our Discord, I definitely recommend doing that. So there's a link in the description. There's a link in our bio as well. You can join our Discord. You can be involved in all the Street Fighter Duel chats that we have. You can chat with myself, Datscat, Falcon, JB, along with a bunch of other people that are in the Discord now. We're always talking about things related to Street Fighter. So please do so. Join the Discord. Stay tuned for more videos. Please hit the subscribe button, and we will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.